Hello and welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and today I'm going to be talking about this no calculate approach that I find truly horrific. Right? And no, I'm not talking about what I call no calculate, what Brian Julius calls no calculate. No, yesterday I just became aware of a different kind of no calculate that is truly one of the worst things I've ever seen in my adult life. Right. I mean, so just before we get started with this video, just understand that I'm going to show you some horrifying things in this video. And it's not, I have no responsibility if you get physically ill and die from seeing this. Okay. Just putting that out there. I want no liability and responsibility on me when you see this. Okay. So, and where I found this was in the forums. This individual, Lebowski, solid name, posted this question, and then I actually did end up solving this person's question, and I'll show you that later in the video. It was after, but like when I saw this individual's DAX, I became physically ill and started immediately dry heaving and had to go to the bathroom and retch for like 45 minutes. And then I was able to come back, and then I had to run back to the bathroom and like puke for another 30 minutes. And then I was able to come back and answer this individual question. So just full warning, what I'm about to show you is hard for me to put into words, like how truly horrific it is. So let me show you. So this individual has this problem. They want to get this number here. This is their DAX code, right? They have a switch true, and then what in God's name is that, right? They have a measure, and then parenthesis, remove filters, parenthesis. The next one, they have a measure, like parenthesis. They have remove filters, treat as, and then now, number one, I have no idea where this individual ever found this syntactical disaster of a DAX syntax, right? I have no idea where they even found it, right? Where did it even come from? I can't remember. I've been working with DAX for like 10 years, and if I've ever encountered this syntax, I do not remember it. Just flat out, do not remember it. I don't know where this could possibly have come from. And it's hard. I'm seldom at a loss for words, but disgusting, horrific, like they all pale in comparison to just how much utter sheer contempt and disdain and how much I detest this syntactical whatever it is, right? I'm truly disgusted by it. I mean, if we were gonna like rate things in DAX that like 10, like level 10 is things that I love, and level 0 are things that I hate, right? Calculate would be like a 4, time intelligence functions, it would be like a 1. This here is like negative 50 quadrillion, right? That on that scale, right? That is where this falls. So I even hesitated to even make a video on this. That I didn't want to make people physically ill and die from seeing it. And I sure as heck do not want to promote this, whatever this is, to like a larger audience, right? Because you should never, never write your DAX this way. Please, for all that is good and holy in this world, do not write your DAX this way. Okay. I can't understand where they even possibly could have found this. I got to move this out of the way. You're not seeing that, but because I went through the DAX function reference, you can download the PDF right here, right? Download PDF. When you download the PDF, there are 1,073 pages to the DAX reference, okay? Guess how many times that this shows up? 0. That syntax shows up 0 times. Even if we put a space in this, right, it shows up 4 times. 1 is in this formula, which is not what we're talking about, right? We get down here, and this define and then evaluate, also not what we're talking about, right? So there it is again. There it is again, right? That is not what we're talking about here, because, right, there's the example. This is just done for, reasons, for the display of, whatever it is in the text. That syntax does not show up in over 1,000 pages of the DAX reference guide, does not show up. So I don't understand where this individual even like came up with it, to be perfectly honest. Somebody needs to explain this to me, right? So I did eventually answer this person's question, okay? So just, I know I'm making a lot of fun of him. It's just all in good fun. But I did eventually answer this person's question. So basically, and this is what it translates to. That whole measure and then the parentheses and the remove filters. It's like calculate without a calculate. It's like some kind of shorthand way to write a calculate statement, which it just reminds it smacks me of like Perl, when all these Perl idiots would go around and try to make their Perl code as obfuscated and as small as possible, and they thought that was a cool thing to do, right? It's not a cool thing to do. It's an awful, awful thing to do, to your fellow developers out there, when they have to go in and fix your stupid code that you've taken every liberty to shrink up and every shortcut in the book, right? It is not fair to your fellow developers out there. So do not write your code that way. Okay. It can't be as much as I joke around and all that, I am deadly serious about this. Never ever use that syntax for your DAX code. It is a terrible thing for you to do to the entire rest of the DAX community and the Power BI world. Right. So anyway, so calculate. So basically the answer to his question, I'm not sure why he had his selector as a separate disconnected table, but basically I had to grab the selector name, which is the cedar or whatever. I then had to go to the dimensions table and grab the type of that. And then I actually had to do a SumX where I filter all the fact table where the ID is in the IDs, right? Where where I select the columns for filter all of the dimensions for the type, right? And grab the IDs for it. And then SumX the count, right? So the actual problem that they were running into was that they had a table of types. This is their dimensions. They have their fact table, like cedar, cherry, plum, blossom. So they would select like cedar. That would be a type of 2. So they want both cedar and cherry, right? And so what they want to do is count up the count. So 456 and 223 would equal that 6, 7, whatever number. But for whatever reason, they had their selector over here as a separate dimension, separate slicer table. I'm not sure they really needed to do that. I didn't go through and confirm that, but I don't think they would have had to do that necessarily. They could have used, I think, just their dimension table, maybe. Yeah, they should have been able to just use their dimension table to do that and use all to override anything that was going on. But yeah, so that was the actual solution for it, where essentially, okay, so you grab the selector, use that to grab the type out of the dimensions table, and then basically filter all the fact table where the ID is in, where I filter the dimension tables for that type, return the list of IDs, and then I can SumX the count, and then that is what gives me my 679 number for type. So there you have it. That is all I had for this video. Do not write your DAX that way. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.